Okay, I'm going to cover several things here. I've been watching the videos on the Kazimov. It's something like that. I may not be saying the name right. There's a Russian scientist, cosmologist, something like that. I'll get to that. Get to him in a couple minutes. Now, I was watching Wonder House's latest video, where she was. I only watched part of the video. I didn't watch it all the way through yet. I'll probably download it and watch it on my TV. She was talking about this cell phone tower that was disguised as a water tower. Now, I've never seen that particular disguise. I've seen the ones that look like fake pine trees. Now, there's plenty of those around. I may have seen the cactus ones. I may have seen the ones that got crosses. They may be a little bit better disguised, and I just didn't quite recognize what they were. Inside that water tower, I'd be surprised if there wasn't some, besides the cell phone antennas. I'm going to get to how cell phones work in a second here. No, I'd be surprised if there wasn't some other radio services in there, microwave, maybe 2 meter ham have some 2 meter repeaters and stuff. And he was talking about you not being able to get a good cell phone signal at your house there in the Death Valley. Now, one thing, if you have anybody with Cricket, you might see if some of the Cricket phone can get cell phone service out there. Because I have a Cricket phone. Most of that's the first real carrier that I got, but I had a track phone early on. But if you use them much, track phone, you buy a prepaid airtime card. And if you use them much, I mean, they're good for just emergencies if that's what you want. But if you're going to use them much, you might as well just go with a regular carrier, because I went with Cricket. I've been happy with Cricket. But I said you might see if somebody with the Cricket phone can get a signal out there at your house, because Cricket doesn't have any equipment of their own. Cricket just uses everybody else's equipment. So if there's any cell phone signal out there, somebody with the Cricket phone could probably get it. Now, when I was out at the White Tank Park out there, hiking the waterfall hike, I got YouTube and Facebook. I was able to upload the videos that I shot on my phone, my camera. I uploaded those through public Wi-Fi, but I got regular signal, but you can see the antennas on top of some of those mountains, and everybody's got cell phone, TV, 2 meter ham is up there. It's all kind of repeaters on top of those mountains. I've heard people talk about night. You can see the lights from the from the antennas and stuff. Just so aircraft doesn't hit them. Let's see. I'm gonna get to Kazimov in a second here. Now I was talking to a guy a couple months ago about scalar waves. Now, scalar waves is something that Nikola Tesla was messing with. I don't know if the scalar waves originated with him, but he was working on them. Now, even though Tesla was a genius, not everything Tesla did worked. I mean, some of Tesla's stuff was good, some of it just didn't work. But I think that just goes along with being a genius. It's also orgone energy. Now, that's William Reich. You can type on here on YouTube and find how-tos on any of these. You can build it. You can build your own orgone accumulator. Now, the AMA. William Reich, I don't know where he was born, but he came to the U.S. and became a U.S. citizen. But the AMA tossed him in jail for practicing medicine without being a doctor. But I tell you what I think that was. I think people were sitting in his orgone accumulator getting healed from various ailments. They was doing it pretty much for free. And the AMA said, well, look, we don't want this guy doing something for free that we could charge somebody thousands of dollars for the cure for. I'm thinking that's kind of what, but I may be totally wrong on that. Anyway, like I said, if you want to build your own orgone accumulator, the how-tos are here on YouTube. I've been playing around with this. I think I read some of his books and stuff. Actually, been years and years ago. Now, on scalar waves, actually, that was Tesla. On Kazimov mirrors, that was that Russian. No, I don't know. I don't know where he was. He's doing all his research in Russia, and I think they actually did some, built some here in the U.S. I think these were run by the CIA, and the CIA has kept everything confidential. They won't, even under a Freedom of Information request, they won't release any information. So I'm wondering if these Kazimov mirrors don't actually work. Now they're a twisted aluminum. And supposedly that twisted aluminum, reflects time. Now they'll build a box you sit inside this thing. Now, supposedly the twisted aluminum will reflect time. Not only will this thing increase your psychic ability, this will you can't travel through time, but you can witness stuff that happened in the past. That's my understanding. I said you can type here on YouTube and Kazimov mirror. You can get. I think it's how-tos and how to build these things too. I think if somebody's already built one of these things here in the valley and said, "Hey, James, we wouldn't mind you sitting inside this thing and giving a second person's opinion on this," yeah, I would be up for that. I'd be curious on what would happen. It would save me building one. On scalar waves, I'd have to bone up on how you harness those. On the Orgone energy, that's layered, just various layers of stuff. It's organic and inorganic material, just various layers, and you build up a box and you sit inside of it. Now, whether this is real, or this is tapping into some energy that really doesn't do anything, or this total BS, I'm still on the fence. I can't tell you, but I find it interesting. It's just all interesting. Now, I was gonna get at how cell phones work. Cell phones are just computer-controlled two-way radios. They have a whole bunch of different frequencies, different channels. The audio channels for the phone. And there's a computer inside the telephone talking to the computer inside inside a particular cell phone antenna tower. That they're saying, well, you can do this frequency, but this frequency is bad. And I said, okay, the frequency you're using is now bad. We're going to switch you to another one. It kind of works like that. I remember back in the mid '70s, in one of the electronics magazines, they didn't call it a cell phone system, but that's what it was. I remember, had to describing how it worked. And I said, back then, we didn't have the microprocessors were around back then, but they were fairly bulky. And I said, well, they can't scale that down to the point where that would be practical, where they can put it in with technology, it's improved, and they have made it work, which is interesting. And I think I covered everything. Hey, let's keep interesting. Let's keep life interesting. Let's all stay spooky. Okay, love y'all. Bye-bye.